Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
Shalom, family. Good to see you all here. Hope you're doing well. I wanted to give you a sneak peek at the Botanical Oil Leave-In Conditioner that I just finished last night. So I'm starting to bottle everything. So this was really the last thing I had to do. So it really looks good. These labels really look good on a purple bottle. But so this is ready. This is leave-in. Technically, you can use it every day or just use it a few times a week. But I like it. It smells really nice too. So, y'all, let's get to the reason why we are here. Last night, they had the White House Correspondents Dinner, which they have every single year. And, ladies and gentlemen, there was a shooting. Now, I saw this last night. I've been waiting and waiting and waiting to see who they were going to identify as the shooter. Because I was a little confused because when I heard the name, it was kind of hard to determine, even the race of the person. His name is Cole Thomas Allen. And I'm going to show him to you because this came out recently. Hold on one second. I'm going to put his picture up. And of course, he has been arrested. There we go. All right. This is Cole Thomas Allen. He is identified as the shooter last night. And you know what the funny part was? When I was listening to the news, Donald Trump was making the claim, oh, it would have been safe if we were at the ballroom. He's still trying to promote that ballroom. So anyway, I don't think it's safe to be around Donald Trump right now because there's a lot of people upset with that man. But yes, so there was a shooting, and when I show you the footage of last night, you can actually hear the shooting a little bit in the background. You can hear somebody definitely pull the trigger. So this guy is identified as Cole Thomas Allen. He's 31 years old. He is from, I think, Torrance, California. And I saw some other pictures of him online, but most of the pictures were just what you see, him face down on the floor. So I was able to find a face shot of him. So I don't know what he is, but you can definitely see, you know, I don't know if he's some foreigner or not. I don't know. So anyway, he is who they identified. So let's get on to, I got an NBC video that I want you to see as well. Get that. See if I can get that up on the screen. All right. So this is the surveillance video from last night. Let me see if I can. I don't Usually surveillance videos don't have sound, but you can at least see what it picked up. All right. So y'all give me a 1 if you can see my screen. So, and yes, Donald Trump, JD Vance, Kash Patel, they were all there. His whole cabinet was there at this correspondence dinner. Thank you.
They're just getting everybody out. Again, I'm Jeff.
I want you to listen to the words that Caroline Levitt speaks when she's being interviewed here. And this is before the shooting occurred. But listen to what she says in this interview. Thank you.
It'll be funny. It'll be entertaining. There will be some shots fired tonight. He is ready to rumble. I will tell you, this speech tonight will be classic Donald J. Trump. It'll be funny. It'll be entertaining. There will be some shots fired tonight in the room. So everyone should tune in. It's going to be really great. I'm looking forward to hearing it.
Well, a really disorienting moment here at the White House Correspondents Dinner. The first time that President Trump has been at a White House Correspondents Dinner, and we wound up with shots fired inside of the hotel. We heard a pop, 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 pop. We don't know where it was coming from. We have very limited information at this moment. We saw wait staff running, people hit the floor, Secret Service running past us, asking if they had eyes. So for a good couple of minutes, the situation clearly wasn't under control, at least from our perspective inside here. But things seem to have settled down. The president was ushered off the stage very quickly, and things are wrapping up here, it seems.
What happened?
They're trying to identify it now.
Where was the shooter?
Somewhere out there.
In the lobby? In the lobby? We didn't know at first, but then we heard from our own security that they heard shots fired. And now we do have Secret Service telling us, obviously I want to know this is only one Secret Service member, but a member of security is here telling us that there is a shooter. And now we are kind of basically locked inside the ballroom. But basically they were saying everyone's okay. They have not identified the shooter yet, but obviously it shows you this was not some kind of false threat, that obviously something had happened and they rushed the entire administration off stage. You know, at the beginning of the dinner, everyone's just kind of seated having their meal, and within moments, armed Secret Service is running in with massive guns. And, I mean, maybe dozens, and a silence just went over the room as they ran in. Everyone ducked, got on the floor. People were underneath tables. No one knew what was going on. And for a second, the president actually was not evacuated off stage. I looked, he was sitting still right there. A Secret Service was coming in and down the hallway.
It was very unexpected, but incredibly acted upon by Secret Service and law enforcement. And this was an event dedicated to freedom of speech that was supposed to bring together members of both parties with members of the press. And in a certain way it did, because the fact that they just unified, I saw a room that was just totally unified. It was in one way very beautiful, a very beautiful thing to see a man charge a security checkpoint armed with multiple weapons. And he was taken down by some very brave members of Secret Service, and they acted very quickly and have just released, for purposes of transparency, clarity, I've ordered it to be put out. You probably have it by now, put out on Truth and put out on many of the platforms. a tape showing the violence of this thug that attacked our Constitution, and also showing how quickly Secret Service and law enforcement acted on our country's behalf. Really did a great job. One officer was shot, but saved by the fact that he was wearing obviously a very good bulletproof vest. He was shot from very close distance with a very powerful gun, and the vest did the job. I just spoke to the officer, and he's doing great. He's in great shape. He has very high spirits, and we told him we love him and respect him, and he's a very proud guy. He's very proud of what he does, Secret Service agent. And we looked at all of the conditions that took place tonight, and I will say, you know, it's not a particularly secure building. And I didn't want to say this, but this is why we have to have all of the attributes of what we're planning at the White House. It's actually a larger room, and it's much more secure. It's drone proof, it's bulletproof glass. We need the ballroom. That's why Secret Service, that's why the military are demanding it. They've wanted the ballroom for 150 years for lots of different reasons, but today's a little bit different because today we need levels of security that probably nobody's ever seen before. But everyone owes a tremendous debt of gratitude to the courage of law enforcement, the law enforcement, and working with the DC police. And we just spoke with the mayor. And when we're finished, the police chief is going to take over and discuss it also from their viewpoint. But they also performed exactly as they were supposed to. And you see the attacker in different positions, but you also see the attacker totally subdued and under control. So as you know, this is not the first time in the past couple of years that our republic has been attacked by a would-be assassin who sought to kill. In Butler, Pennsylvania, less than 2 years ago, you all know that story. And in Palm Beach, Florida, a few months after that, we came close. We really had, again, we had some great work done by law enforcement. But in light of this evening's events, I asked that all Americans recommit with their hearts in resolving our difference peacefully. We have to resolve our differences. I will say, you had Republicans, Democrats, independents, conservatives, liberals, and progressives. Those words are interchangeable, perhaps, but maybe they're not. But yet everybody in that room, big crowd, record-setting crowd. There was a record-setting group of people. And there was a tremendous amount of love and coming together. I watched, and I was very, very impressed by that. But we were, First Lady and I were taken very well care of, very quickly rushed off the stage. Vice President J.D. Vance, who's here, was likewise beautifully done. He was just saying how quickly everybody acted, law enforcement, Secret Service in particular in this case, but law enforcement. Marco had the same thing. Pete was there. Pete didn't want any help. He didn't want anybody to help. He doesn't want anybody to help him, but he did get some, didn't you? And I think you also said that it was very impressive. So with that, I'd like to ask Todd Blanche to come up, say a few words, and tell you it's already underway. The man has been captured. They're going to his apartment. I guess he lives in California, and he's a sick person, a very sick person. And we don't want things like this to happen.
Libby Dean is live at the White House Correspondents Dinner and joins us now. Libby, I understand you were tackled or taken to the ground. Tell me more about this.
Hi, Natasha. Yeah, I was speaking with the House Speaker, Mike Johnson, as this whole incident played out. And we were speaking, and his back was to the situation. So I was the one who informed him of what took place. And actually, we just saw Secretary Hegseth, Secretary of War, and the Department of Homeland Security Secretary Mark Wayne Mullen rushed through the lobby here where we're standing, which is actually next to the magnetometers where this whole incident happened. But we shouted at Mark Wayne Mullen and we asked him if President Trump is okay. They confirmed the president is okay, the vice president is okay, and so is the first lady. But this is a very scary situation here, as obviously we're still trying to figure out exactly what happened. If that person, we know they're in custody, but we don't know their condition, and that's going to be the big question moving forward. Also, if the president comes back to this dinner, right now we're just seeing secretaries filter in and out, but at this point, we don't know for sure if the president is coming back.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Libby, I want to listen to that moment together quickly when we do hear those shots go off. Let's take a listen to that. And we hear those yells of "stay down." Libby, it is remarkable. It seems like the ripple of fear and activity in that room starts in the back and moves forward. There are several seconds that go by when we hear those bangs, at least 5 of them. And then the president is rushed off the stage. We are hearing that he is safe tonight, as are all of the protectees, including the VP and the First Lady tonight. We're looking at this from a different angle. But you were there. Tell me a little bit more about exactly where you were in that room. You say you were speaking with Mike Johnson at the time.
Yeah.
What did you hear? When was the moment you realized something was wrong? And what did you say to Mike?
The moment that I saw the snipers and them running down with Mike, because I was facing the actual room and my back was to the entrance. We were actually standing, there's so many tables in the room, like over 200 tables, and there's this huge graph that you look and you figure out where your table is. That's what I was doing.
So you were not in the room itself. You were actually more in the lobby area?
No, we were in the room.
Okay.
This is right when you walk into the room. So I basically had the view of the whole entire situation. Snipers came from every single angle, from United States Secret Service from behind me, and then also the other entrances, because there's several other ones that security is able to get through, while we just have our one entrance that we go through. And that entrance is near the magnetometers, where it seems like this situation happened. As for what I said, I warned the speaker, and then we were tackled to the ground, and then he was escorted out. Following that, we saw several, unfortunately, senators, members of Congress, limping out of the room, being carried by either their staffers or law enforcement who likely suffered injuries when they were tackled. And that is also something that was happening as all of this was developing. And I will say this is a very this is something that this White House is very familiar with, unfortunately, that President Trump has faced. And I actually just was speaking with Andrew Colvett, who was Charlie Kirk's best friend and right-hand man. And this is just a very shaken moment for everyone, but especially people like him, given the heightened threat environment and then what we saw happen tonight.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Did you hear those shots go off?
Yes, I did hear a loud bang, and then that's when I yelled at the speaker.
What did you yell at him?
Natasha, a curse word.
I appreciate the candor there, and I think the moment calls for it. We're looking at some of these stills. We're just getting into our newsroom. Cheryl Hines and RFK Jr. there. We're hearing reports RFK Jr. was limping. Tell me about, you said we have been seeing people limping out of this room, and we're seeing the still of Mike Johnson being escorted out as well. You're saying that's sheerly from being tackled, and you experienced that firsthand. That was Secret Service, armed Secret Service, that tackled you to the ground. What?
Yeah.
Can you walk me through that moment and what that was like?
I twisted my ankle, but we still got the heels on. Thank you for asking, Natasha. I appreciate that. It's just a very scary moment, but I got up and this is our job. So I got up and I immediately started filming.
Of course you did. And Libby, I know you will remember this night for the rest of your life, and there will be some processing and unpacking to be done. And I can imagine how high the adrenaline is. in this moment as well. Tell me a little bit about the confirmed details we are getting. It seemed like they were opening the doors, and it almost looked like an evacuation at one point. And then we're seeing this statement from the president on Truth Social. He says,
part of all of it, Natasha,
Tell
we
me.
have no service. So everyone in here is trying to get information out. And I'm so glad that we were able to get me on the phone with you, because really getting any kind of information out right now is the big problem.
Yeah.
And that was very unexpected, but incredibly acted upon by Secret Service and law enforcement. And this was an event dedicated to freedom of speech. A man charged a security checkpoint armed with multiple weapons, and he was taken down by some very brave members of Secret Service, and they acted very quickly. The man has been captured. They're going to his apartment. I guess he lives in California, and he's a sick person, a very sick person. He was a guy who looked pretty evil when he was down. You know, they had him down. He was fighting hard. He was in my opinion, a sick person. Who would do that but a sick person? But I think you're going to find everything about him. No reason to talk about it now. But tomorrow at this time, long before this time, you're going to know a lot of things about him. They seem to think he was a lone wolf. We looked at all of the conditions that took place tonight, and I will say, you know, it's not a particularly secure building. And I didn't want to say this, but this is why we have to have all of the attributes of what we're planning at the White House. It's actually a larger room, and it's much more secure. It's drone proof, it's bulletproof glass. We need the ballroom. That's why Secret Service, that's why the military are demanding it. They've wanted the ballroom for 150 years for lots of different reasons, but today's a little bit different, because today we need levels of security that probably nobody's ever seen before. We wanted to stay tonight. I will tell you, I fought like hell to stay. A very beautiful thing to see. A man charged a security checkpoint armed with multiple weapons, and he was taken down by some very brave members of Secret Service, and they acted very quickly. I must tell you, the most impactful people, the people that do the most, you take a look at the people, Abraham Lincoln. I mean, you go through the people that have gone through this, where they got them. But the people that do the most, the people that make the biggest impact, they're the ones that they go after. They don't go after the ones that don't do much, because they like it that way. And when you look at the people that have either, whether it was an attempt or a successful attempt, they're very impactful people. Just take a look at the names there, the big names. And I hate to say I'm honored by that, but I've done a lot. We've done a lot. We've taken this country, and we were a laughing stock for years, and now we're the hottest country anywhere in the world. We've changed this country, and there are a lot of people that are not happy about that. I want to thank the First Lady that was a rather traumatic experience for her. There was a lot of action taking place up there very quickly. But again, the response time was really incredible. And we're going to reschedule. We're going to do it again. We're not going to let anybody take over our society. We're not going to cancel things out, because we can't do that.
Y'all, I think this is the distraction from the Epstein files. And look, Donald Trump, this is how many times shooting has been around you. Why don't you sit down and give us our reparations before you kick the bucket? Now it's the time. Sign on that dotted line. Just give us our reparations. That's all we need from you. We don't need nothing else. So anyway, y'all, that's what happened last night. And I don't know. To me, it's not going to be safe, because there are so many people, and plus the Iranians have been telling Donald Trump they don't get him. Remember, he took out their supreme leader. He took out their general, and they're not forgiving that mess. So, this presidency, I can barely keep up. It's only been what, a year and a half? Close to a year and a half? And look at all the stuff that has happened. Damn. It's real. Wow. Mm-mm-mm. So, y'all, let me say my thank you here. Antithesis, thank you so much for your support from my channel and your super chat. Out just supporting. ScrewTube playing around with notifications. Yeah, they always do. They always do. It's nothing new. So, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and conclude. I got my next live coming up at 11:45, and I got a few more videos of life after deportation that you're going to see. So I will see you then, 11:45. Shalom, family.